How's it, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in today's video we're going to be talking about air suspension and coilovers. Today we're going to be covering a very hot topic in the stance community, the stance world. Is air suspension better than coilovers, or are coilovers better than air suspension? So basically today I'll just be giving you the pros and cons on air suspension and coilovers, which one is better and which one I think you should go for. So stay tuned, guys, and in the end of the video you will most definitely have an answer as to, is air suspension better than coilovers, or are coilovers better than air suspension? So basically, let me just give you a rundown of the two suspension kits. Yeah. So basically, what's a coilover? Basically, a coilover is a traditional McPherson struts, which consists of obviously a strut and a coil spring. So basically, the strut has lowering threads that allows you to adjust the height of your vehicle based on your preference. So basically they also come in performance level, where you can also adjust your rebound, your dampening, and also use them for track. So basically coilovers were very popular in the racing industry because of how you could put them under a lot of strain and not have to worry about any electrical faults or any electrical problems. So basically coilovers were very popular in the racing scene, the drifting scene, and now is very popular in the stand scene. So most people opt for coilovers in the stand scene because they want to be able to have the convenience of being able to adjust your ride height according to your preference. So basically that's why most people, I'm not saying all, but that's why most people in the stance community opt for coilovers, because of the adjustability, and yeah. So basically let's jump into it. So the cons. So basically coilovers, they're not typically breakable, in a sense, although under extreme conditions they do tend to have a few faults here and there, but it's not every day you hear someone that is driving on coilovers saying that they have a problem, maybe with the strut or whatnot. But it is possible for someone to blow out their strut, someone to bend their shocks and all of that. So I've had a case where I saw a coilover set on Facebook Market which had a bent strut. And the sad part is that when it comes to a coilover kit, you can never get like maybe let's say you're looking for one separate strut from the kit. It's not possible to just go to your local modification shops to get one coilovers. So you have to get a set instead of getting one coilover. So I would say that's the downside of opting for coilovers, is that once you break any one of the components is within the coilover kit, you basically have to replace the entire kit. So yeah, I would say those are the cons. And another problem would also be the scraping of your vehicle. Let's say maybe you're going to an unfamiliar place that you have never been to, and right ahead you can see, let's just say, a speed hump. So if you're on a coilover kit, that means you're gonna have to scrape your car, and there's a lot of things that come with scraping your vehicle. Some come with some people actually blow their brake lines. I've had a few cases where one of my friends had 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 a leak in his brake lines, because the like some vehicles have brake lines running, you know on 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 the side of the car underneath, so there's a lot of components that are underneath your vehicle that you have to consider. Yeah, so I'd say those are the cons of coilovers. One being you can't replace one component from the kit. You're gonna have to get a brand new kit just to replace that one faulty problem. Second one has to be not being able to adjust your ride height, you know in the comforts of a button or in the comforts of your cell phone. So yeah, basically I'd say those are the only two cons with coil over suspension. So now let's move on to air suspension, the most convenient kit, or should I say the most convenient suspension you can get in today's world, especially if you living in SA. Okay, so basically air suspension consists of a traditional McPherson strut, but then instead of a coil spring, it has an airbag. Some people say airbag, some people say sleeves, some people call them double bellow, triple bellow. There's a very wide variety. So basically this gives you the conveniency of lowering your car to your specific desired height in the touch of a button, whether it may be remote controlled or whether it may have a Bluetooth system which is connected to your smartphone. Okay, cool. So basically, what are the cons of having air suspension? So basically, the cons of having air suspension, they typically consist of faulty electrical components failing, since it has a lot of wiring hooked up to it. So basically you may also have a issue where you blow out a bag, you tear a bag, your struts fail, what else, your compressor fails also, your management can also fail. But all of the things that I mentioned, they can be eliminated if you opt to install your air suspension from, maybe, let's say, an RMI approved workshop. An RMI approved workshop, someone who is I'd say a professional bagger, someone who bags car for a living, someone who actually has good reviews on the work that they've done. So basically I would advise you to do a lot of research before you lower your vehicle, whether you're looking for air suspension or coilovers. So what are the cons of both of these lowering suspension kits? So basically the cons of having a lowered vehicle has to come with your, first and foremost, your oil pan, also known as a sump. Since your vehicle is lowered, that means your oil pan is actually closer to the road, to the ground, meaning that any obstacle that you come across, there's a chance that your open can hit whatever you're coming across. Let's say maybe you can hit a speed hump, pothole, your sump leading to oil leak, or the sump can just literally have a big crack, and yeah, you're gonna be in it. So basically, another con would obviously be your CV joints. Those ones tend to wear much quicker than a standard vehicle. There's a myth that has been going around, people saying that you can't drive fast when you're on air suspension. That's a total myth. I've seen people, my personal friends, I've seen them drive their cars on air suspension, and they drive them very, very hard. They drive them very, very hard, and it's possible. It's possible. If you drive fast, you're probably gonna pop a bag, you probably gonna tear 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's a whole myth. So as I was telling you guys, that I've got friends who drive their bagged cars hard, and they also drive them on a daily basis. It's not, a garage queen vehicle or a car that doesn't go out during the week. So bags are reliable. It also boils down to the kind of kit that you purchase. There's entry-level kits, there's mid-range, and there's also, I'd say, performance slash premium luxury. So yeah, back to coilovers. So basically, we were fortunate enough to have a wide variety of coilover brands in SA. First and foremost being Jom Redline coilovers, ARC coilovers, Jom Blue Line coilovers, FK suspension, which come in yellow, and also there's one brand that I haven't seen in a while called MaxTrack. Yeah, that's also another good coilover. Another one has to be your Elux. Elux do keep coilovers. Yeah, and a very recent one that has made its way to SA has to be KW Performance coilovers, which are like the premium of coilovers. So yeah, we're very fortunate enough in SA to have a wide variety of coilover suspension kits and brands to pick from, and it's proof that SA stance culture and the stance scene is actually getting internationally recognized. So yeah, let's move on to air suspension now. So basically, with air suspension, as I just said, that there's entry level, there's I'd say middle class, and there's luxury air suspension kits slash performance, for those say luxury vehicles like your Audis, your BMs, and all of that. So basically, there's also a wide variety when it comes to air suspension, typically going from Tobayo, Costa, your Elux, your APC. Those are the brands that I can think of from the top of my head. Basically, I want to challenge you guys to today's topic. Comment down below, tell me if you prefer driving on air suspension, or if you prefer driving on coilovers, and tell me why. Let's have an engagement, and I shall reply to all your comments. Thank you very much guys for watching this video. Please do like, share and subscribe to the channel, and let's grow this family. Thank you guys.